Fantastic Fest 2026 is right around the corner, and of course, that means that we are going to tell you what movies you should definitely put on your list. I sadly this year will not be attending. I attended 4 years in a row. This is going to be the first year I don't attend. I mean, there's a lot of things going on currently, and I'm just not able to. But nonetheless, I went ahead, looked through all of the film releases, and I picked five that I think you should definitely put on your list. As somebody who's attended Fantastic Fest as well in the past, these just sound like right up my alley of movies I would definitely watch. And I think I actually have six here or seven, not five. So let's just get on with it. So one of the first ones I want to talk about, well, before we do, hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell. We're going to be doing other festivals. We're going to be discussing other movies. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you subscribe, follow us on our Letterboxd, Instagram, TikTok, all provided here. But one of the first ones I have up here for you, as you can see, is Roma Elastica. This is directed by Bertrand Mandico. Did amazing films. I watched She is Conan at 2023 Fantastic Fest. Loved it. Became one of my favorites of the year. Dragon Delectation came out later on and was a movie that was so interesting. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't even know if I would recommend it just to anybody. I think watch She is Conan. If you appreciate that, I think you might appreciate Dragon Delectation. I can still see you not liking it. It is a very experimental film. Roma Elastica stars Marion Cotillard. I hope I'm not butchering that. In the film, Cotillard plays Eddie, a capital M movie star who may be at the end of her illustrious career. Maybe it's the burn from international success. But a director like Mendico and an actress like Cotillard, this has been one of those movies that has been high on my list, and we are finally getting it at Fantastic Fest. So I'm excited to hear what people think about it once they watch it there, and hopefully we have it released somewhere near in the future as well. Next one on my list is going to be The Birthday Party. This is a film that is directed by the director who did The Five Devils, which I think is an incredible film if you haven't checked that out. Director Léa Mysius is doing this new film here, and it says it's been a big day for Nora. She got promoted, fought with her daughter about a viral reel she posted of the family dancing, and most importantly, tonight is her 40th birthday. She lives in the remote countryside with her husband Thomas and daughter Ida, sharing the estate with Christina, an artist neighbor busy painting works no one ever buys. But the evening doesn't go as planned when three men arrive uninvited, claiming Nora is not who she says she is. Nora was expecting cake, instead she got a slice of unsavory past. So I don't know what's going on here. The Five Devils is such an incredible film, incredibly shot, beautiful performances. I thought it was just spectacular when I had the chance to watch it at Fantastic Fest a couple of years ago. I believe it was like at the first Fantastic Fest I attended. I'm excited to see the director return, and this just sounds like it is definitely a film to check out. Next one on my list is going to be the film Corpus. Now, Corpus is a movie that I heard a lot about at Fantasia Fest this year. I wasn't able to go to Fantasia Fest, but I covered some movies and talked about them. Stay tuned for those reviews. But Corpus is a movie that I'm excited for, directed by Corin Evans. Corpus says the quietly horrifying cold open of Corpus is quickly replaced by a real-world S-title sequence in the grimy, pulsing late 1990s club scene in New York City. I've heard some amazing stuff about it. It just looks great. The title sounds cool. So I'm basing it off of vibes. I always base it off of vibes, honestly. And I don't think I've been wrong, honestly. I think maybe in all of festival runs, I have maybe one movie I'm wrong about in my like taste, but other than that, I love everything I choose just based on the log line, based on the picture they use, the title. I sometimes don't even look at what the director's done before, I just give it a shot and we're there. Next one on my list is going to be The Face of Horror. If you were a fan of The Love Witch, this is the same director, so need I say any more to you? Probably not. So this is directed by Anna Biller, and this is a movie that sounds very interesting. Now, this is a movie that will be premiering at TIFF. It's Midnight Madness, so it is just going to be a US premiere here. I believe some of these might be a world premiere. I think I have one or two. The other ones are just US or North American premieres. It says, first love. Eleanor loves Edward. Edward loves her beautiful face, her gorgeous body, her money too, for sure. Her as a person, probably not. And as for her father, certainly not at all, which is why he kills him to secure Eleanor's hand in marriage. I don't know. Things already sound pretty interesting right there. Need I say more? Love Witch director. we're seated for this one. This one sounded pretty interesting to me. It is called Posthumous. It says Zoe's drinking has become a problem, so she's abandoned her car, her boyfriend, and her university studies to temporarily move back in with her surly single father, a man who's content to share meals and pay off her drunk driving fines, but seems to have little interest in emotionally connecting with his daughter. Zoe's mother died from a terminal illness after rejecting life saving treatment that could have compromised her pregnancy, but before she departed, she had the foresight to leave behind a series of VHS recordings. Resigned to the couch while her father's at work, Zoe spends her 30th birthday alone rewatching the old VHS tape, charting her mother's decline from grainy message to grainy message, aware that her relationship with her mother has always been a one-way conversation through physical media that degrades a little bit every time she pops the tape into the family VCR. When a new lead points Zoe to the reclusive widow next door and her father gets evasive about their shared past, Zoe breaks in and uncovers a failed occult therapy to channel her mother's pain through portals opened by arcane sacred geometry, and possibly a way to finally converse with her mother through those same cracks. So, I don't know. I read that and I was just like, this sounds interesting. I thought that the picture they used as well was very interesting. The name of the film, very interesting. Three interestings in a row. So I was just like, you know what? This could be it. This could be it. Director Josh Tanner's debut feature is a chilling ghost story with some genuinely creepy chills, twists, and jumps. But what stuck with me after the credits rolled was how thoughtfully Tanner uses Zoe's mother's analog VHS recordings to stand in for memory itself, objectively captured and slowly wearing down each time it's revisited. And that comes from Chris Larson, who is a team member over there at Fantastic Fest. So I was interested in this one. It's an Australian horror film, and it's one I would definitely put up on my list for sure. Next one is another TIFF Midnight Madness release, and that is going to be The Spiral. This just looks like it looks like something's gonna go wrong here, and that's what really captured my attention. Like I say, it's the pictures, it's maybe a bit of the log line. Let's read what the log line says here. Meet Alice. Her estranged mother, Anna, has just arrived at her Rome apartment in the middle of a storm with a preposterous confession. 20 years ago, she made a bargain that cursed their entire family. Talk about dramatic. So, I don't know. That's all I need here. I'm there, I'm seated, and we shall see. The last film on my list is going to be a film called Upiro. It says Spain 1755, as the Age of Enlightenment promises to replace superstition with reason. Anna, a young woman sent to a remote monastery to atone for her sins, finds herself trapped within a cloistered world ruled by unwavering faith and absolute obedience. Behind the convent's austere walls, several sisters are afflicted by a mysterious blood disease, while an atmosphere of mounting dread unsettles the isolated religious community. When an unconventional priest begins investigating the unexplained illnesses, scientific certainty and religious doctrine collide with an ancient evil, an Upir, the Slavic precursor to the vampire. So yes, this is a vampire flick, and it just looks pretty good just from this picture alone. It is Spanish. It is from director Oscar Martin, who apparently had a film at Fantastic Fest in 2019, which was 3 years before I attended my first Fantastic Fest, so I did not get to see that. But this sounds so interesting to me, and I'm very curious about it. It has its world premiere at Fantastic Fest, and I would love to watch this. This is definitely one of the ones that would be at the top of my list. But all of the films I talked about today, all 6 or 7, I would definitely recommend to you. If you're going to Fantastic Fest, put them at the top of your list. They just sound so damn dope, and I would love to check them out. But like I said, I will not be attending Fantastic Fest. But, I attended the past 4 years, and I just said to myself, let's make a list. Let's make a list of some of the movies you would check out if you were there. But let me know your thoughts and your opinions on which movie you are most excited for at Fantastic Fest. Which one are you going to be checking out? Are you going to be checking out any of the ones I talked about, or are you thinking about some other ones, or which movie did I miss that I should definitely put on the list? I'll talk more about Fantastic Fest as we get closer, and definitely secret screenings. I'm curious about those as well. Do we get Werewolf? I don't think you get Werewolf. A couple years ago, people thought it was going to be Nosferatu. The first year I went to Fantastic Fest, people thought Barbie was going to play. It's always the big movie, right? But I think they always give you a pretty good surprise. Last year I saw one battle after another. I saw also Begonia, so those are pretty great. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, let me know your thoughts and opinions on Fantastic Fest and which of these movies are you most excited for. And as always, that is going to do it for me on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Let's get to it. Stay safe, stay positive.